In this episode, I'm going to show you what to do with those empty tequila bottles. Right here on the Tequila Hombre, coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today I'm going to give you guys an idea of what you can do with your empty tequila bottles. So today we're going to make candles. All right, so the first thing we need to do in order to turn our empty tequila bottles into candles is to find a way to cut the top off of the bottles. And we want to do a clean cut where there's not jagged edges. So we're going to use this, which is called a bottle cutter. And I'll put a link to this in the description below. So if you'd like to pick one up for yourself to do this, you can. So let's get into how we cut the tops off the bottles. All right, so the first thing we want to do is figure out where we want to make our cut. And so you can raise and lower the etching blade on this. So I want to have this so the label is in the on the candle. So we're going to line it up so it's just above the label. And we want to make sure that the bottle is flat and square the way it's lined up. And then you just turn the knob on this side here to lock the blade into place. All right, so after we figure out where we want the cut to happen, we lay the bottle cutter down on a flat surface like the countertop here, and then we're going to push down on the bottle, and we want to make sure we keep it in its flat place, and we're going to release. This etching thing is on a spring, so by releasing this, it pushes the blade up against the bottle, and then we're going to turn the bottle. You'll hear, if you come a little closer, you can hear the scratching noise, and you'll see the etch it's making on the bottle. And we want to make sure you keep it flat. You hear it scratch on the glass. And you just keep rotating the bottle until it gets to a complete circle and you get to the end where you started, which we're about to hit right now. All right, so there we go. If you look at the top, you can see we've got it etched in a complete circle around the top of the... All right, so we've got several bottles that we've etched around the top, and so now we're gonna show you how to remove the tops off the bottles. The first thing you wanna do is you want to get a bowl of ice cold water, and you wanna get a heat gun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the heat gun on. We're gonna let it heat it up. And then once it gets hot, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run the etching right through where the heat gun's hot. We wanna heat up where it's etched. And we wanna get a good, hot, good and hot, right on the etching. It's gonna create a weaker part of the glass, and then we're gonna shock it by dipping it straight into the ice cold water, and it should just come right off. It normally works like a charm. Sometimes it doesn't come out exactly the way you want, but you can etch it down. We get nice and hot, rotating it around. Keep spinning it, warming it up nice and good. And then we're gonna plunge it into the ice cold water. Shock the crap out of it so it comes right off. And now what you can do too is you can actually turn this into a nice margarita glass if you want. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, since we cleared the top off, there might be some sharp, jagged edges. So we're just gonna take a Dremel tool, or if you have a file, and we're just gonna sand down the edges on it so no one gets cut. And we wanna go around the outside. around the outside edges and then the inside. Sand down the top so it's not sharp. And there we go. It's nice and smooth now. It's no longer, no sharp edges where anyone's going to get cut or hurt on it. All right, so after you're done sanding the top so it won't cut anybody, it's time to wick it. And so what you want to use is you want to use these wick stickers that you can buy on Amazon, and I'll put a link to them as well. And you get some wicks that are long enough to come out the top of the bottle. So you take these stickers and you attach the wicks to it and you place them on the bottom of the bottle. Now we did 2 wicks because what happens if you only use 1 wick in the middle and it's not a thick, round burning wick, it will drown itself out when you light it because the outside wax will melt and go over the candle and put it out. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we're double wicking this one. And this little device holds it so it's in the center when we put the wax in it. All right, so the next thing you're gonna need is a little melting pot like this. This is a wax melting pot. You can get this on Amazon as part of a kit, and I'll put a link to that as well in the description. And then we're gonna take a cooking thermometer. This is my actual barbecue thermometer that we're gonna use. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the wax and we go over to the stove and we have a pot where we've had some water that's boiling. And then what we're going to do is place this on top of the pot because you don't want to put the wax directly on the flame. So if you look, we do have a bowl inside the pot that we have this pot sitting on top of because we don't want it on the bottom of the pot where the flame is. And we'll just let the heat of the water heat this up. And we want to get it so it gets to 190 degrees. All right, so we're approaching 180 degrees. So once we hit 180, we're gonna take the wax out of the pot here, and then we're gonna add our coloring and our scent to it. So it's gonna be a scented candle, and we're doing this one, it's gonna be blood orange scented. Orange blossom, sorry, orange blossom scented. I thought it was blood orange.
Orange blossom.
Orange blossom. Orange blossom scented. And you can buy the scents on Amazon as well. It's through a company called Candle Science that we bought all this stuff. So we're at 179 now. And then at 180, my lovely assistant will grab the pot over here to the counter. We're going to take our thermometer out. Take it out and put it on the, there we go. All right, so now we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of the scent that we want, which is orange blossom. Okay. And then we're gonna stir with the knife that we have there. Smells great. Go ahead and stir it. We want to keep stirring it because we want to get it mixed into the wax really well. All right, so why don't you go ahead and put the coloring in too. My lovely assistant, Caitlin, otherwise known as Kate Bug to you guys that watch the channel, is going to drop in some drops of coloring and mix those in as well. It's going to be a peach color. There we go. Looks good. I only put a few drops in because it's pretty potent dye. And we're going to keep mixing it slowly. You don't want to stir it too fast. We're going to let it cool somewhat before we put it into the glass bottle, stirring it all the while it's cooling. Otherwise, if you put it in when it's too hot, the stickers from the wax and stuff come off, and the wax coating on the wicks comes off as well. So we're going to let it sit here, slowly stirring. There you go. All right, and so then we're going to keep doing this. No, it's still stirring until it's time to pour, and we'll come back when we're pouring it. All right, we got the temperature down to about 140 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and pour the wax now into the bottle. Keep the bottle flat, Caitlin. There we go. You want to keep the bottle flat, otherwise the candle doesn't come out flat. And we're going to go all the way up. There we go. So now we're just going to let it sit and cool down, and we're going to fill up. We have leftover wax, so we're going to fill up some other jars and make some other smaller candles with it, which is what Caitlin is doing there. She wants some smaller ones for her room, so her room smells pretty, like orange blossom. And those popsicle sticks hold the wick in place. Are those all the way full? You have room for one more? Enough for one more? You can fill this up one more. There you go.
There's still more wax.
It's okay. We're good. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to let them sit and cool down, and we'll come back and show you what they look like once they're cool. All right, so here we go. The candle is pretty much cooled down. So then what you want to do after it is cool is you want to come in and just clip the wicks and cut them down to size. And there you go. The candle is ready for burning. Isn't that great?